Why is my water softener using too much salt?
A water softener will use salt based on how much water flows through it. If you're using a lot of water, expect to use more salt.
It is using more salt than I'd expect it to.
I hope you don't have a water leak in the tank or pipes, using up the softened water so the unit goes through more salt.
If I knew that was happening, I'd be asking about how to clean up the wet floor, not salt usage.
Your water softening may seem to use too much salt because most of the salt is dried in a ring around the tub. The solution is to break that up with a mallet and regenerate, not add even more salt.
At some point, there's salt-bergs in the tank.
The water softening may also be using too much salt because the salt has crystallized on the bottom of the tank as a kind of mush. So you have to add even more salt for it to dissolve in the water and mix with the resin.
Salt, everywhere, and not enough to drink.
The unit could be using a lot of salt because the water softener is undersized for the load. Then it seems to use too much salt when you really don't have enough capacity.
The unit was the size the tech recommended, and I know he would have loved to sell us a bigger, more expensive one.
You could set the water softener to recharge on demand instead of recharging on a schedule, where it may use more salt than it needs.
What is the difference?
If you do not use that much softened water, recharging on a schedule could use up salt faster than it has to.
I do not know what the schedule is or should be.
Most units need to recharge at least a week, but some people set it to every day or two.
I'd rather recharge more often than not enough.
You may be adding more salt than necessary because you're making assumptions based on water hardness.
There'd be a point with that the water would be too salty, and it is not.
The unit may simply be dirty. At which point, it uses a lot of salt trying to flush itself when the solution is really cleaning it.
I do not have a lot of muck in the bottom of the tank.
If you use solar salt, the odds are higher there's sediment and excess salt in the tank.
I use industrial salt.
The rate of salt usage still varies on the type of salt. You'll use more potassium chloride than sodium chloride.
I'll take that advice with a grain of salt.